Hi guys, so it's been a long time since you've seen me maybe do a sit down video type of thing. I really wanted to make this video which would be my portfolio video. So I applied to OCAD and I got in. I wanted to make a video because I always watch portfolio videos. Even since like grade 9 I would watch portfolio videos, but most of them were from America, like applying to RISD, Parsons and stuff like that. And when it was time to apply to OCAD, I was looking around for like portfolio videos for OCAD, but I didn't really see any, so I decided to make one myself. So some background information is I applied to 3 universities and 4 colleges, and I got accepted to 2 of the universities, and then the third one, UIT for nursing, I didn't get accepted because I didn't finish the I didn't do the Casper quiz or Casper test, and Ryerson. So Ryerson for graphic communication management, more like the business aspect, I found interesting, but obviously OCAD was my top choice. For OCAD, I applied for cross-disciplinary arts life studies, which is this. I have this university book from the university fair last year. Cross-disciplinary arts specializing in life studies, which explores the perspective of human and non-bodies from micro to macro views through the material world, the environment, digital space, and sciences. So I found this interesting because I really want to go into medical illustration because I love biology, but I of course wanted to go to the arts. So I found that interesting, but if I wasn't going to apply to cross-disciplinary art, I kind of was thinking about switching my program into illustration. But yeah, maybe I'll go through my first like semester or first week or first year in cross-disciplinary and I'll see how it goes. And yeah, so onto my portfolio. My portfolio consists, so there's like 3 steps into my portfolio, and I applied through SlideRoom, which is a very common website. A lot of you may have heard of it. It's an online website where you submit your portfolio and a lot of information. So the first step is a statement of intent. So it'll ask about yourself, what you are as an artist, and like why you wanted to go into the program you applied for. If you want to see what my statement of intent was, I'll have a portion of my statement of intent in the bottom, just so like you guys kind of get a grasp of what it's talking about, but I won't put the whole thing in. And then after that, they have a question. So the question I got this year was, what is the role of artists in society? It's kind of another short 250 word thing. And then the next thing you had to do in the forms section is an alternate program of interest. So I picked illustration. And then next would be the portfolio. Woo! For each work, you needed to add a brief description of the concept, idea, or process, so around 50 to 100 words. As mentioned before, I did apply to 4 colleges, which was Durham College for Graphic Design, which I got accepted to. I applied to illustration for both Sheridan and Seneca, which I didn't finish the application process because Sheridan has a very like detailed, hard application process, especially into the animation program, since it's a very good one. So I didn't finish that. But for the Seneca portfolio, I found all of their portfolio submissions required more traditional stuff, and like I find it odd that for their portfolio it didn't really ask for illustration based stuff, more like traditional based stuff. I don't know how to explain it, but I didn't finish the application to that. I even like called them to make sure, like, hey, are you sure I can't include some of my illustrations, like my watercolor works, and you could only include like I think 1 or 2 pieces that you've done. So I found it really odd, so I didn't end up going there. And then I also applied to Michener Institute for Respiratory Therapy, yeah, just in case. So the portfolio is 5 to 11 items. I choose to put all 11 items because who would put, like, they have the space, might not. So this one I knew I was gonna submit. It was for my grade 12 visual art class, and it's a split drawing, so half of the work should be in black and white and the other half should be colored. And I think I'm holding it upside down, and it's pretty big. It's like this big, and it's called Swaying Warmth. I love doing the water detailing, and then the traditional, the graphite, and yeah, basically self-explanatory, mixed media, mostly watercolor and ink. Next I have my entropy piece, which is acrylic on canvas 24 by 30. I don't have that because I sold that sold that during my art show, so I'll put a photo right here. A surreal acrylic painting based on the scientific term representing the lack of order or increase of order, entropy. The aspects of disorder are slowly growing into our reality in the form of meteorite and the alien spaceship in the clouds. I was a nerd and I liked biology, and we were learning this in biology, so I named it entropy and based it off that. Next, I have this one. It's very, very tiny actually. It's called Portrait in Peach. It's 6x8 acrylic on canvas, and it's a small self-portrait based on a photo from my trip to San Diego. I guess this one was added to show that I can like paint people, I guess, which even then I can't. Like, I was doing this, I did this really quickly and it doesn't look like me. Anyways, next is a still life of a paint tube. It's a self-explanatory one. It's a still life of a red watercolor paint tube. I guess I did this one to show that I can paint things, or I can draw things, I guess. It doesn't really look like it, but you know, it works. And you can tell by like, it doesn't matter how big your work is, as long as like you can see it. And I made sure to take all these photos really, really well with a good camera, and then I even edited it slightly, because like here you can see that there's like paint slots, so I made sure to just slightly erase that, but not majorly altering these. So the fifth piece I chose was I think one of my favorite illustrations I've ever done that's not like of a person is this architecture project of the Gardner Museum in Toronto, which was grade 11 illustration, grade 12 architecture project. And I did this in watercolor and pencil crayons. And here's the original building. Here's my references, and then here's that. The next thing I did was a digital illustration of the skull, and I did a few of these. I did the lungs, the skull, the liver. I did a couple of these, and it's just this illustration here, parts of the skull and such, that I did in bio class because I was bored after a bio exam, and I will continue to make these. I did this on my iPad Pro with Apple Pencil, so it was super easy, and it was like maybe 20 minutes for me to do all this. And it shows like my interest in the sciences, I guess, so I included that. Next is actually a video. I'll play the video here. I don't know if I can. And I called it False Train, and if you see in the video, you can see like I put like in the background you can see like clouds and stuff, but it's really just me holding this up. And I included it to show that I can kind of think outside of the box, I guess, but it's not the best painting. It's kind of an ugly painting, but the idea was cool and it was fun to make. Next is a really shitty, really bad figure drawings. And I included this because I know that a lot of art schools like seeing figure drawings, especially in a lot of other programs and a lot of schools ask for figure drawings, but this portfolio didn't ask for one. So maybe like 3 weeks into when portfolios are due, I was like cramming to get some good figure drawings. I wish I took some classes. I wish I took classes with people because those seemed helpful and fun. I might still continue to try to find and take them, but here's my like figure drawing book, like sketchbook type thing. It's like, I didn't show the whole thing, I just showed like one page, and if I find it, like it asked for stuff like this, which I'm so bad at. That's why I should have practiced more. So I did like 3, 4, 5 pages of these, and I think this is the page I showed, which was not good at all. They're really bad in my opinion. But how I did this was, there's a website called like Figure Drawings, and then there's a timer and there's pictures that pass by, and you set your timer to how long. So if you want to draw them for 5 minutes or 2 minutes or 30 seconds, you quickly draw them. Yeah, there's that, but it is a very useful tool. And I did them in charcoal and like HB, 6B, and 8B pencils. Next is another one I don't have. It's still at school. It's my metamorphosis drawing of plastic turtles. So this was done with mixed media. It was to show the impact of the use of straws. It was for a class project, but I really liked how it turned out. It's actually here's the original, and then here's another 2 slides that I didn't include because they kind of look ugly, but they're done with fine liners, markers, pencil crayons, you know the drill. Next, oh, here's another one of those illustrations I did, which was just called the lungs, and it was another medical illustration that I put in there that looked cool and pretty, so yeah. And then last but not least was a sketchbook tour. So I think it asks you to include a sketchbook tour, and you guys saw my past video. I think the past video was the same sketchbook tour that I submitted. Was shorter and sped up with no music, no edits, because they ask for that, like just the beat. They ask for that. So I did this sketchbook. You can watch I'll link the video in the description and in the box. And it's an alright sketchbook. Like towards the end I literally just filled it with whatever because I could not think of what to do, but I'm pretty proud of it because it shows I made sure to include a lot of my process work, especially like showing like how I got to the final steps of a project, or even a couple finished drawings, to just make sure that you have all around stuff, I guess. But a lot of this is ugly, so don't worry if it's ugly, just show that you have process. And like honestly, like I don't know if they actually watch these, but a couple of these pages are good, a couple of these pages are like, what was I doing? So the sketchbook itself that I use is a really cheap sketchbook, I think. It's not Canson, it's Artist Loft, and this is also my current sketchbook right now for my grade 12 year. This was my grade 11 year, and the binding does fall off, and that's why I always add these. But I don't know, I find it cute. If you guys want a video of how I did this, because I think it's super cute. And then this is my new sketchbook. I may be like halfway through it, and it's the end of my portfolio. And then you submit it, and then there's like a $12 fee for slide room that they ask. And honestly, in my opinion, my portfolio isn't the strongest thing I've ever made. Like I feel like if I started a little earlier on thinking about my portfolio, I would have done better figure drawings. I would have done more medical illustration type stuff. I think it's really making sure that you include a lot of variety and not just the same thing. But I don't know. Another thing I should add is I wish I went to the National Portfolio Day when I was in grade 11 or like before then, just so I get an understanding of what it's like to have a portfolio, because I did watch a lot of videos, but I feel like I was poorly prepared in my opinion. I also have to talk about like my high school grades, I guess. So it says here you need the Ontario Secondary School Diploma, which is like to say that you graduated out of high school. You need a minimum of a final grade of 70 in English, and a total of 6 grade 12 U or M level courses with like an average of 70, including the English. So for my grades, I took AP Bio and AP Science all the way through. I didn't take chemistry until only in the summer. I took data management, and I took all the other basic courses that you need, like English, religion. And then most of my averages for that would be around 80 to 85, not including math because I suck at math, and chemistry because I did it in the summer and I just needed to get that out of my way. I took chemistry because I thought I would be going to nursing, but like look at me now. And then for the art courses, I think I took all art courses except in grade 9. I didn't take art then because I thought, I don't know, I was dumb. But I took all the art courses. In grade 11 I took visual design and visual art, and then grade 12 I took visual design, visual arts, and information and consumer design, which is my yearbook class, which is like more graphic design centered. I didn't use any of my works in grade 12 because it was after portfolio date, but I kind of wish I had my visual design and my yearbook stuff to include in there because I'm pretty proud of those. My average was 90 to 95. I don't know why I got those, but I do know people who got into OCAD with lower averages, but I recommend you aiming for the 80s, I guess. Aside from that, so I hope that helps. If you have any more questions, as always, comment below, blah 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 blah. Hopefully I'll record more of my university life. Aside from that, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.